Hi guys, how's it? Hope everyone is doing very well on this holiday here in the US. It is actually the Thanksgiving holiday. If you're in the United States, I hope you are with your family and friends, waiting for some food action. After I get done with this, I've got to get in the car and drive to Oklahoma to my girlfriend's hometown and her parents' house for some Thanksgiving eating and activities and just getting around. And honestly, it's probably just going to be me and her dad sitting on the couch watching gridiron football, not soccer football, but gridiron football, because that's kind of a tradition here in the US. I also want to just take a moment to thank all of my new subscribers. I know I got a pretty large contingent of Irish subscribers in the last couple of weeks, and I appreciate it. We don't always see eye to eye on everything, but I believe the one thing we will see eye to eye on is my disdain for the English rugby team. Yeah, guys, hey man, goes way back. And it's not that I hate everything about them or anything like that. I can go back and talk about Jason Robinson and Johnny Wilkinson. In my mind, one of the greatest of all time, still in my mind. He's up there, up in the high echelon of great rugby players. Definitely Johnny Wilkinson, and even off the pitch, just seems like a really good dude. I follow him on social media. He does a couple of podcasts and stuff like that. He just seems like a good dude that really is just a good steward of this game. But as you can see by the title of it, man, we've got a preview. We've got the final game for the Springboks for the international season. What a year it has been. Obviously, I will do a recap video here in the next couple of weeks. We'll go through all the games that the Springboks played this year, talk about some high points, talk about some low points too, and kind of just do a wrap up. But before we get to that, we've got to get to this final weekend here. Eddie Jones has been gracious enough in the overnight hours here. I woke up this morning and he had posted the lineup for this final test of the autumn international season for both teams, as the English Poms match up against the mighty Springboks. So we'll go ahead and go through the lineup. First, we'll go ahead and get a check of the weather at Twickenham on Saturday. Looks like it's going to be between 10 and 13 and cloudy. So I would say a typical autumn day in England. So it should be, hopefully the pitch is nice and dry, because I know it's supposed to rain tomorrow. So hopefully the pitch is in good condition by the time game time gets ready to crack off. 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time start, I believe, here. I don't want to quote that 100% because I've kind of noticed with Flow Sports it moved the time around. Like it had last week that the Springboks were playing on Friday evening here. In reality, they were playing early Saturday morning. But let's go ahead and start off with these lineups, have a few comments about it, and kind of get maybe a couple of predictions, maybe a couple of ideas of what I think could possibly happen this weekend. So the front row for the Poms is going to be Mako Vunipola, Jamie George, and Kyle Sinclair. Maro Itoje, the kind of the stalwart there at the lock with Johnny Hill, his partner. Alex Coles and Tom Curry will be the flankers, with Billy Vunipola, Mako's brother, at number 8. Jack Van Poortvliet, and the young combo of Jack Van Poortvliet and Marcus Smith at 9 and 10. Marcus Smith, I got heaps to say about that guy. What a great. Johnny May and Tommy Freeman will be the left and right wingers, respectively. They will both have their hands full, definitely. Captaining at center, my least favorite player on the entire planet. You know what? I'm not even going to say his name. And then Manu Tuilagi will be the other center. That's how much I don't like that guy. I don't even want to say his name. Freddie Stewart will be holding it down at fullback. A 5-3 split coming off the bench for Eddie Jones, with Luke Cowan-Dickey, Ellis Genge and Will Stewart being the front row replacements. SA-born David Ribbons will also be a flanker replacement, and Sam Simmons the other flanker replacement. Veteran Ben Youngs, 120 caps, coming off the bench with Henry Slade and Jack Knoll. Now we go over to the lineup for the Springboks, and before we even get into that, this was something that when the schedule was released for the international season that I did worry about. Our access and availability of some of our overseas players became massively hindered. But for some reason, We can't use them, but England can. Okay, we won't even go there. Front row is going to be Oxenche, Bongi Manumbi, and Franz Maherba. Eben Etzebeth moves back out to starting at number 4 there with Marvin Ori, his partner. Captain Sio Khaleesi, Franco Mustard will be the flankers. And youngster Evan Roos will get the start at number 8. Faf de Klerk, Damien Valemza will be the starting scrum half and fly half respectively. And coming back into his role at number 11, the horns up, one of the best, Makazole Mpipi at number 11. His opposite, a guy who I think has had the breakout player of the year so far for the actually total this year, is going to be Kurtley Arenza at the opposite, at the right wing there. Damien Dialendi and no Esterhuizen this week as he has returned to his side. And Jesse Krill will be the centering combo with veteran Willie LaRue holding it down at the back there. Front row replacements consist of Malcolm Mark, Stephen Kitsoff, and Dutoy. It's been a bit since we've seen him in the green and gold, at least in the main one. Marco van Staden is the other replacement there, with Quagga Smith being the final forward replacement, a 5-3 split for the Springboks as well. Jaden Hendrickse looking like the replacement for Faf de Klerk, and the person I thought should have started at fly half this week, but they have decided to stay with Damien Valemza, is Manny Libok. And the final replacement, also another wing that has some good time. You know, he scored a try in his first game, but that'll be Cannon Moody coming back. He's in the 23 jersey. So like I said a moment ago, I still don't understand why we weren't allowed to use our premiership and certain guys, but England could. Something just doesn't add up. We go back to, like I said, I have massive respect for all my Southern Hemisphere foes. Australia, New Zealand, Argentina. I have massive respect. I like the Irish. I like the Scottish. I like the Welsh. I like the French. I like the Italians. There's just something about the English that I just cannot stand, and I don't know what it is. It's just I don't like their attitude. Maybe I just don't like the prestige with it. But that's not to say that I don't think that there are some solid guys who have come out of the program. And a guy that I think has the potential to also join that upper echelon status as in great English rugby players is first 5/8 Marcus Smith. It's an absolute joy to watch that guy play. His explosiveness, his attitude, his excitement. Like maybe it's because he's a young guy, but like I really enjoy watching that guy play. And I've even seen, you know, we've all seen it. Johnny Wilkinson working with him, which, you know, for me, like I said, Johnny Wilkinson's one of those guys that I put up in the very top tier of greatest rugby players of all time. Just my personal opinion. And I think Marcus Smith is a true joy to watch and has the potential to become one of those greats as well. He's got the skill sets, he's got the mindset, he's got the attitude, and he's just got that oomph factor. You know, he's got that it factor to be a great rugby player, and I do enjoy him. But I digress. Manny Libok, when he comes out, I wanted him to start just to kind of gauge him up against Marcus Smith, because the fact of the matter is Marcus Smith is a world-class fly half. And I wanted Manny Libok, but I get them starting Valemza because I'm going to go ahead and I'm pretty sure Faf de Klerk is going to be doing the kicking duties, and then once once Damien steps out or moves to fullback or whatever he does, they'll bring in Manny, and Manny will take over the kicking duties, who did a great job last week. I loved it. Second game, and he did really good against the Italians. Recent history is we're 2-3 against these guys. Obviously, last year losing by a single point, 27-26 scoreline. That was kind of the revenge match for the World Cup final, where we won by a score of 32-12. I'm going to get that tattooed on me at some point, I'm sure. Back in 2018, a 12-11 loss. And 2018, again, a 25-10 win. And then 23-12. That was like the back half of like the tour back in 2018 that England did to South Africa. So like I said, pretty evenly matched in recent memory. Overall, I think we have like 12 or 14 wins more than they do in the overall series. And this has always been like kind of one of those very contentious teams that like when we play against them, anything can happen because it's just I don't know if it's the prestige, maybe it's the bad blood. Who knows what it is? But it should be a great game. Like I said, 11:30 start so far from what I'm being told via Flow Sports. And of course, I will be going live for that one. Love for any of you guys to come out and hang out and say hi. It's going to be a bit before we have some international rugby. I've got to start really hammering down, getting ready for the MLR season coming up and my presidency of the Jackal Den. So I've got to start working with some things with that. But I'm still going to cover rugby. We're still going to have talks every week. URC coming in strong like it always is. I don't watch the Premiership, guys. Sorry, because I don't have the subscription for it. I'm a big URC Curry Cup. I'll watch Super Rugby. I'll watch Bunnings. It used to be the Mitre 10 in New Zealand. I'll watch all that stuff, and then I'll watch domestic rugby here. I just don't watch the Premiership. I do have a way to watch French rugby, but it's just kind of hard for me to follow at times. So, but yeah, should be a great game. My prediction, I've got the Springboks by 3. It's going to be a close one. We rarely blow each other out. Obviously, the World Cup final was a blowout, but we rarely blow each other out, and I've got us winning 27-24 is what I'm picking as the final scoreline. Just hoping that we finish this game, both teams, not just us, but both teams with no injuries, because this is not the time of year to have injuries, because these guys have got to worry about making that paycheck for their families and whatnot. So, but I hope everyone is doing good. Like I said, getting ready to head out here, hit the road and head north to go get some good, Thanksgiving grub and whatnot. And I hope everyone is safe wherever you're at in the world. If you're in South Africa, I hope Eskom isn't playing the games that we all know that they can play. But I'll talk to you guys again very soon. Cheers, guys.